This is DaxTheAnimal with Chapter 5-1 in this Resident Evil 4 Professional No Damage run. We finally made it to the island. This is the last section of the game. 5 chapters left, including this one. And we're going to start out with a skip. I'm doing the Ditman glitch, but you don't have to. Just runs up here, hop down the middle of that ledge, and then aim for the middle of this rock. Walk towards it diagonally, and Leon will just slide right over. Walk in here. Follow this path pretty much exactly how I'm doing it. Run over there, trigger that QTE, and it just pops him back into the map. This skips a whole section with mirrors, a section that I very much do not like, so I'm a fan of this skip. I always shoot these guys because it's possible to get robbed by the dude that's next to the ladder. I'd say 9 times out of 10 you can run right by him and all he'll do is point at you. But that one time, that 10%, he'll just run at you and grab you right away. So you don't have to kill him, just, stun the guy with the crossbow, then stun the guy by the ladder, and then leave. Or kill them if you want. This area over here is optional, but it has a treasure. A really good treasure. So it's worth the hassle. Plus, we gotta use our grenades and ammo on something. Blow up that passageway over there. I think it'd be kind of cool if there wasn't a barrel there and you had to use a grenade or a rocket or something. Make this a little bit more of a secret. We're gonna run into some inventory space issues in this chapter. Just because that's how many resources the game has given us. Chase this guy down. If you're using Ditman, you can just chase after this guy. Keep running. A dynamite guy will never do anything. He'll never run at you and grab you. And that just running through there like that, it seems risky. It really does seem dangerous, but it's not. I've done that so many times, and I've never seen any of those enemies behave differently. And when I say we're gonna run into inventory space issues, that's a good problem to have. We have so many grenades, so much ammo. That means we're in a good place. Still holding on to that egg for later.
What are you buying?
It's going to be very valuable for us.
Thank you.
I like how this is one of the strangest merchant locations, probably. You just set up shop right by all these dudes. Look at that. Look at all these guys. Right next to the merchant. I opted to just run past them, even though there's a crossbow guy up there. He never even seems to aim his weapon if you just run through there. Hidden incendiary grenade, very useful. Enemy over here, sometimes he runs out at you, other times he just points. Either way, he's not a threat. Just be ready to shoot if he comes towards you. You might even want to have the striker ready for him. Here's Oven Man. I back up until he busts out of the oven and then just run past through this doorway. He never comes over here. He only runs so far before he collapses. Another hidden grenade right there in the sink. Now we get to listen to Ashley screeching for a little while. You can shoot this guy through the bars. None of those bars actually have collision. Well, they have collision for Leon, but none of them actually block bullets. There's one more enemy down here. He has a crossbow, so you want to be cautious. He'll act strangely sometimes. If he sees you early, just be ready. It's also very possible for him to sprout Plagas out of his neck, so be ready for that. See that redstone of faith? That is one of the 3 items that we can combine with that cat statue that we found. It's one of those treasures that ends up being worth a whole lot. Let's take out these tanks. They always spawn when you get towards the bottom of the stairs, so be ready for them. Couple more goodies back here. Yellow herbs, always fantastic to have. Remember, a red plus green plus yellow mix you can sell for 10,000. Now, after this cutscene, turn around, just do a quick turn and go back to this locker. There's no way to go to this locker before that cutscene, so that's because it warps you over to those monitors. So it's actually really easy to miss, and that's 5,000 easy pesetas. This drawer also easy to miss. There's always some shoddy shells in there. We're already at another merchant. This man is everywhere. In hindsight, I could have sold probably like 30 shoddy shells here, just to save a little space. But that's okay. Alright, now this part's Ditman only. Or you can back up from the door. You have to be really quick, even when using Ditman. You have to back up just far enough for it to open, and then run forward, and you'll make it through. If you're even a little bit slow there, you will not make it through that door. You'll be stuck outside with the dynamite. It's a little bit risky. Those guys just keep doing their job. They're dedicated. Look at them go. If you wanted to sit back and fight those waves of enemies, it's really not so bad. You can wait for them to shoot dynamite, or throw dynamite rather, and then shoot it. It's not that bad. You have flash grenades at your disposal for when crossbow guys show up. This puzzle solution here, it's just hit red 3 times, green 2 times, and blue once. So just left to right, 3, 2, 1. That's always the solution. Similar to, all the other puzzles in this game. It's just a quick number combination. Never any RNG. This guy, you can run past him. That's our first regenerator. One of the most interesting enemies in the game. You just run by him. The second one, however, is a risk. So, I use the striker, blow off his legs or one of his legs, and just run past. Don't mess around though. You gotta, as soon as you shoot, make sure you run. Because he will flop forward and land on you. Use the card key. Getting here to the freezer, we're gonna find a very valuable. Well, first of all, we find this key item, but then we find a very valuable item, optional, but extremely handy for taking out regenerators. It's an infrared scope for the sniper. It allows you to see their weak points. You combine it with the rifle. It doesn't actually physically appear on the rifle in the inventory, but you'll notice that there's an E next to both of them when it's equipped. There you go, just shoot for the red spots. Take them out, 1, 2, 3, blow off the leg, and get the one on the back. That works for all these guys. And they always drop a pretty hefty amount of pesetas too. 5,000, some of them later drop 20,000. So it's worth the trip. You could just blow their legs off with the striker and run past all of them. But I think it's worth getting the infrared scope. I think it's worth using the rifle ammo. Because that'll pay for a lot of weapon upgrades in these last few chapters. I missed. He started running forward, doing his little shuffle. And now the door's in the way. This all went wrong right here. But that's alright. Not the end of the world. Look at all that shoddy ammo. It's too much, really. Now we have a claw machine coming up. And similar to the ones in real life, this one will rob you. What you want to do is make sure that the shadow from the claw is right, just, completely covering whoever you're trying to pick up. For whatever reason, you don't have an infinite amount of time here. It'll just cut you off after a bit. But you see how I make sure that the rectangle of the shadow is completely covering these guys before I pick them up? If you do that, you'll get them. If you're off just a little bit, it might miss. And that always feels bad. Because we have to go through this area right now. And if the claw machine cuts you off, then you have to, you gotta use more ammo. Not that you would be hurting at this point. But, you run the risk of getting hit. Just picked up an emerald in that dumpster on the right. That's completely hidden. I don't believe you can see that. You just have to know it's there and select it. Fun fact, the papers in this room, zoom in on those with your sniper scope. Zoom in. And they are nutrition facts labels. Just straight up nutrition facts. Blown up to 8.5 by 11 size. Capcom thought no one would ever notice. What are they nutrition facts of? I cannot say. Too blurry. Alias, we're doing so good on ammo that it's time to start throwing it away. This right here was dumb. Don't use the pistol. That was lucky. Lucky or clutch, depending on how you want to look at it. Just use the striker. Come around this corner with the striker ready. It'll stun these guys no matter where you shoot them. Don't use the pistol there like I did. Tried to shoot Ashley. Didn't work. Darn. You can see I'm not really talking about the Ditman glitch much anymore. It's just kind of something I do at this point. I always throw a flashbang in here, because this room can be quite dangerous. And because I'm running into space issues, I decided to, use a grenade. Start to exhaust a few of those resources. Flashbang, incendiary. Start dumping ammo. Now, be careful with that crossbow guy on the right, the one that we already took out. If you throw the flashbang in such a way that that whiteboard right there blocks it, well, it'll block his line of sight to it, then he will not be stunned. So be very careful about that. You don't want to think everybody in the room is stunned just to get shot or hit. It's happened to me, and it's a terrible feeling, because it's just a total robbery. More shoddy shells back there. Again, rewarded for just checking everything out. Can't get over how full this inventory is. We're pretty much in the final stretch of the chapter. This guy's special. For whatever reason, they decided to put a key card on this man. Look at this guy. You get close to him and spikes come out of his body. And Umbrella said, hey, you know what? Or not Umbrella. Sorry. Los Illuminados said, let's go put a key card on this guy. Did you see how I totally got robbed on that shot? How I was lined up on his leg and it just hit an invisible wall? There we go, we got the card key. Some hidden goodies in this room. Everywhere in this game. We got plenty of heals to sell next time we're at a merchant, which will be very soon. You can open this, get some ammo out of here as well. It's good. Rifle ammo is always extremely valuable. Here's an example of throwing a flashbang, and you see the line of sight between the flashbang and those crows were blocked. Got robbed a little bit there. If I hadn't thrown it so far, it would have taken all of them out. So now imagine that happening with an actual enemy. It happens. You gotta be careful. After throwing a flashbang, make sure you always just check your surroundings. Make sure it actually hit everybody that you think it hit.
Welcome. Got a selection of what
Or else you'll be sorry.
Thank you.
It's just a part of the game, man.
Thank you. What are you buying? Is that all, stranger?
Right after this merchant, there's just
Thank you. Is that all?
one more little optional area.
Thank you. Come back anytime.
There we go. Next upgrade on the Striker is the exclusive. And yes, it costs 60,000, but also puts your capacity up to 100. If I was to get that right now, we would also get 72 free shells. Because right now our capacity is at 28. I get that upgrade, it puts us up to 100. So not only do we basically never have to reload again, but it's 72 shells out of it. That is so worth 60K. Takes this already OP weapon and just makes it ridiculous. And we're just heading back to Ashley at this point. Not a whole lot left to talk about in this chapter, unfortunately. Other than how I went the wrong way right there. One more little combat section and we're golden. I creep around the corner a little bit to only aggro one guy at a time. This one right here, he has on a helmet, which makes him immune to headshots. You will do nothing to him if you shoot him in the head. That's why I opted for two. Oh, I didn't opt, I had no choice. Went for 2 body shots with that rifle. Just be careful with these dudes. Cycling between the Striker and the Blacktail. And there we go. Easy peasy. Just, you know, a little patience. I like how those guys had the high ground, and instead of keeping it, they just ran down the stairs. Here we go. End of the chapter coming up right now. We're getting very close to the end of this game. I'll see you for the next one. We're getting very close to that grand finale. Peace out, everybody.